Hello, fourth graders. We're going to pick back up on our read aloud today. So I read chapters 1 to 3 yesterday, and I'm going to read chapters 4 through 7 today. Okay, chapter 4. Brownie stood at the front door and hollered, "Miss Ebel is a liar. Don't believe anything she tells you." Bradley's mother got in the car, gritted her teeth, and drove to school. She was just as afraid as Bradley, if not more so, of what Miss Ebel would tell her. She wanted to believe Bradley when he told her he was getting all A's or was elected class president. She tried to fool herself that it could be true, even though she knew it couldn't. She knew her son, and she knew Miss Ebel wouldn't take the trouble to call her on the phone if everything really was as wonderful as Bradley said it was. Still, she hoped. She opened the door to Bradley's classroom. No one was there. "Hello?" she called out timidly. She looked around. There was a bulletin board covered with A papers. She looked from one paper to another and hoped with all her heart that she'd see one with Bradley's name on it. She didn't. In the back corner of the room, she saw a chart that listed the name of every student in the class. Next to each name was a row of gold stars. Next to Bradley Chalkers, there was no stars. "Miss Chalkers?" Startled, she turned around to see Miss Ebel. "Oh, you scared me," she said, then smiled. Miss Ebel didn't smile. Miss Chalkers sat at a chair next to the teacher's desk and bravely listened as Miss Ebel told her about Bradley. There was nothing Miss Ebel said that she didn't already know. It still hurt to hear. "Deep down, he really is a good boy," she tried to tell Bradley's teacher. "I'm sure he has a lot of good qualities," said Miss Ebel. "However, I have 28 other children in my class, and I can't spend all my time trying to help Bradley. He has to decide whether he wants to be a part of the class or not, and if he doesn't want to be part of the class, then he shouldn't be here. He just makes it that much harder for everyone else." "What can I do?" asked Bradley's mother. "The school had just hired a counselor," said Miss Ebel. "I'd like your permission for Bradley to begin seeing her once a week." "Anything will help my son," said Miss Chalkers. "I don't know if she can help him or not," said Miss Ebel. "Bradley has a very serious behavior problem. If he doesn't show improvement soon, more drastic measures will have to be taken." "Deep down, he really is a good boy," said Bradley's mother. "Well, let's go meet the counselor," said Miss Ebel. She led Bradley's mother down the halls to the counselor's office. The door was open, but no one was there. Bradley's mother stepped in the room. Boxes were everywhere. Some were turned over with their content half spilled out onto the floor. A yellow letter lay on its side. In the center of the room, there was a round table surrounded by chairs, but the table and chairs were covered with papers and boxes and games and books. There were hardly room for Bradley's mother and teacher to stand. "She's just moving in," Miss Ebel explained. "I'm sure she'll have it cleaned up by tomorrow." Miss Chalkers shrugged. She picked up a dolphin puppet from an open box on the table and put her hand inside it. Suddenly, there were a loud grunt and a young woman entered the room. She dropped the box she was carrying. More than 100 crayons spilled all over the floor. "Oh, hello," she said. She was a lot younger than Miss Ebel or Miss Chalkers. She wore blue jeans and a red t-shirt with rock and roll written across it in light blue letters. She had light brown hair, almost blonde, and clear blue eyes. "I'm Carla Davis," she said and held out her hand. Bradley's mother stared at her a moment, then reached out to shake her hand and suddenly realized she was still wearing the dolphin puppet. She quickly removed it and put it back in the box on the table. The counselor smiled. "She needs to sign the form so that you can start seeing her son," said Miss Ebel. Miss Davis looked hopelessly around her office. "They're around here somewhere," she muttered, and then began tearing into the boxes. "Perhaps I better come back," said Bradley's mother. "Found him," said the counselor, holding up the form. She cleared a space on the round table by pushing away a box and gave Miss Chalkers a form to sign. Bradley's mother looked around the messy office, then at a young woman with the rock and roll t-shirt. She shrugged her shoulders and signed her name. Miss Davis took the form from her. "Oh, you're Bradley Chalkers' mother." Miss Chalkers nodded. "You would not believe all the horror stories I've heard about Bradley Chalkers," said the new counselor. "I've been here less than 3 hours, but it seems like every teacher in the school has dropped by to warn me about him. Deep down, he really is a good boy," Bradley's mother started to say. "I can't wait to meet him," the counselor interrupted. "He sounds charming, just delightful." Chapter 5. At dinner, Bradley's father asked how the meeting with Bradley's teacher went. Bradley looked down at the mashed potatoes. "Fine," said his mother. "Bradley is doing very well." "Good, glad to hear it," said his father. Bradley was glad to hear it too. Later that evening, his mother came into his room. "I met Miss Davis, the new counselor," she said. "You're going to begin seeing her tomorrow." "No," said Bradley, "I won't go." "Please, Bradley, don't be that way. She can help you if you let her." "I don't need any help. You said I was doing very well. Did you want me to tell your father the truth? Do you want Do you want him to send you to military school? Maybe he's right. I don't know. Maybe that's what you need. You said I was doing very well. I heard you. Please, Bradley said his mother, give Miss Davis a chance. Please. You should have taken me to the zoo. It was drizzling the next morning as Bradley walked to school. He wore red rubber boots and a yellow raincoat. He stamped in a puddle along the way, making big splashes. He suddenly stopped when he saw Jeff standing next to the school, under the overhang. Bradley's right foot remained in the center of the puddle as he stared at his one and only friend. He took a deep breath and slowly walked towards Jeff. He has to like me, he tried to convince himself. I gave him $1. Hi, Bradley, Jeff greeted him. He didn't answer. If you want, I can help you with your homework sometimes, Jeff offered. I know I'm new here, but I'm pretty smart, and we learned the same stuff at my old school. He shrugged modestly. Bradley looked at Jeff as if he were from outer space. I don't need any help, he said. I'm the smartest kid in class. Ask anyone. They headed for Ms. Ebel's room side by side, but not necessarily together. Chapter 6. Jeff Fishkin was hopelessly lost. He clutched his hall pass as he looked down the long, empty corridor. The school seemed so big to him. He was on his way to the new counselor. She was supposed to help him adjust to his new environment. He not only didn't know how to get to her office, he had no idea how to get back to Ms. Ebel's class either. The floor was slippery. It started raining during recess, and the kids had tracked water and mud inside with them. A teacher carrying a stack of papers stepped out of the door, and Jeff hurried up to her. Can you tell me where the counselor's office is, please? He asked. His voice trembled. The teacher first checked to make sure he had a hall pass. Then she said, the counselor's office, let's see, go down this hall to the end, turn right. It's the third door on your left. Thank you very much, said Jeff. He started to go. No, wait, said the teacher. That's not right. She's in the new office in the other ring. Turn around and go back the way you came, then turn left to the end of the hall, and it's the second door on your right. Thank you, Jeff said again. He walked to the end of the hall, turned right, counted the second door on his left, and pushed it open. A girl with red hair and freckled face was washing her hands in the sink. When she saw Jeff, her mouth dropped open. What are you doing in here? She asked. Huh? Jeff uttered. Get out of here, she yelled. This is the girls' bathroom. Jeff froze. He covered his face with his hands, then dashed out the door. There's a boy in the girls' bathroom, the girl screamed after him. He raced down the hall. Suddenly his feet slipped out from under him. He waved his arm wildly as he tried to keep his balance, then flopped down on the floor. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no, 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 he groaned. What have I done? Oh, why didn't I just read the sign on the door? This is the worst day of my whole life. Suddenly he realized he was no longer holding the hall pass. He stood up frankly, looked around. Don't tell me I dropped it in the girls' bathroom. He heard someone coming and hurried off to the opposite direction. He rounded the corner, then spotted what looked like kind of a storage room. It was cluttered with boxes. He ducked inside and closed the door behind him. Hello, said a voice. He spun around. A woman stepped down off the yellow ladder. You must be Jeff, she said. I'm Carla Davis. She smiled and held out her hand. I'm so glad you've come. I was afraid you might get lost. Chapter 7. Jeff sat at the round table. The counselor sat across from him. So do you like the Red Hill School? She asked. He stared straight ahead. There's a boy in the girls' bathroom, echoed inside his head. I imagine it must seem a little scary, said the counselor. He didn't answer. I think it's scary, she said. It seems so big. Anytime I go anywhere, I get lost. He smiled weakly. It's hard for me because I'm new here, she explained. Today is not only my second day of school. I don't know anybody. Nobody knows me. The other teachers all look at me strangely. It's hard for me to make friends with them. They already have their own friends. I know what you mean, Jeff said. Maybe you can help me, said the counselor. Me? Said Jeff. How can I help you? I'm the one who needs help. Well, maybe we can help each other. What do you think about that? How? We're the two new kids at school, she said. We can share our experiences and learn from each other. Jeff smiled. Okay, Miss Davis, he said. Jeff, she said, if you're going to be friends, I want you to call me Carla, not Miss Davis. He laughed. Do you think Carla's a funny name? Oh, no. I've just never called a teacher by her first name. That's all. But we're friends. Friends don't call each other Miss Davis and Mr. Fishkin, do they? Jeff laughed again. No, he said, then frowned. The kids in my class call me Fish Face. Have you made any friends? Asked Carla. I sort of made one, said Jeff, but I don't like him. How can you be your friend if you don't like him? Nobody likes him. At first I felt sorry for him because nobody wanted to sit next to him. Ms. Ebel said it out loud, right in front of the whole class. Nobody likes sitting there, she said. It was like he wasn't even there. It's bad enough when a kid says something like that, but a teacher? I must have hurt his feelings, said Carla. No, he just smiled. He may have been smiling on the outside, but do you think he was really smiling on the inside? I don't know. I guess not. I guess that's why I tried to be friends with him. I told him I liked sitting next to him, but then he said, "Give me $1 or I'll spit on you." What did you do? I gave him $1. I didn't want him to spit on me. But then later he said, "I'll give you $1 to be my friend." So I took it. It was my $1. So does that mean I had to be his friend even though I just broke even? What do you think friendship is? Carla asked him. I don't know. I mean, I know what it is, but I can't explain it. Is it something you can buy and sell? Can you go to the store and get a quart of milk and a dozen eggs and a friend? Jeff laughed. No. So does that mean I don't have to be friends with him? I don't want to tell you what to do, said Carla. All I can do is help you think for yourself. I don't even know if Bradley wants to be my friend, said Jeff. Today at recess we hung out around together, but didn't do anything. He acted like I wasn't there. Then when it started to rain, he ran around trying to push little kids into the mud. Could you share your feelings with him? Asked Carla. That's the real way to build a friendship. By talking, by being honest, by sharing your feelings. Like the way you're talking and being honest with each other right now. That's why we're friends. But Bradley's different than you and me, said Jeff. I think you'll find that if you're nice to Bradley, he'll be nice to you. If you're honest and friendly with him, he'll be honest and friendly with you. It's just like with the $1. You'll always break even. Jeff smiled. Are you going to see Bradley too? He asked. Yes, later today. Do you think you'll be able to help him? I don't know. I hope so. I think he needs help even more than me and you. You won't tell him anything I said, will you? No, that's one of the most important rules. I never repeat anything anyone tells me here, around the round table. Never? She shook her head. What about the other teachers? She shook it again. What about to the principal? Nope. Okay, said Jeff. He took a breath. Here's a go. He grimaced. On the way here, I got a little lost and accidentally went into the girls' bathroom. He covered his face with his hands. And that's the end of chapter 7.